comments he made about certain things you do. You strive to do this and that. Rice University and their Director of Athletics, Joe Karlgaard, joins us now on Sikkim 365 Radio and 365 Sports. And we appreciate your time. What's it like right now in the middle of all of this transition, all of this realignment and expansion in college athletics?
It's crazy. I don't know. Even when I talk to people who've been in the industry for, 30 or 40 years, who've seen it all, I mean, they've never seen anything quite like this. So it's a little bit unsettling, but we're trying to navigate these choppy waters over the next couple of years and hope we reach some stability here in the near future.
With your move, with what's going on at Rice, where do you see the future of Rice athletics? Because, again, you guys are a very unique school. There's not I'm not trying to knock everybody else's academic street cred, but you guys are kind of second to none when it comes to that. Like, where do you see the future of Rice athletics going now with this move?
Well, we're really happy to be joining the American Athletic Conference in 2023. That announcement came out today. It gets us back to some of our former partners from Conference USA. It gets us back in a league with a school like SMU, who is a rival of ours in the Southwest Conference for 85 years. And so we're excited about the partnerships that we'll forge moving forward. I think the future is bright. We've carved out a niche here at Rice. We've had a lot of success in some of the Olympic sports. Our women's sports programs have had pretty good success at the Group of 5 level. It was just last year that we had 5 of our women's teams ranked in the top 26 in the country at one time. We've got to get our men's programs back up and running. Our football program's been steadily improving every year since we hired Mike Bloomgren, and we hope this is a breakout year for us. Our basketball program, we think, is on the cusp of something special. But as you guys know well, our signature for a long time has been baseball, and we've got to get that baseball program back into the postseason and start charting the path forward to Omaha.
Joe, where were you, or do you even remember where you were about a year ago this time when the Texas and Oklahoma news broke? And when you first heard that news, did you realize this is about to get crazy for a lot of folks, including myself?
Well, it was my 20th wedding anniversary last summer, and we took the family to Maui, and I was on a beach, and I told myself, we were there for almost 10 days, and I told myself that I was going to put the phone on airplane mode so that I could bring it along so I could take pictures, but not check on things. And I slipped. And of course, the news came over the wire, and I saw it, and I thought, this is going to have a cascading effect that'll probably affect us at some point down the road. So, it was sort of welcome and unwelcome news at the same time. I was excited by it, but I also wish I hadn't gotten it in the middle of my 20th anniversary vacation.
So you didn't get off the grid. You thought you were going to get off the grid, and you did not get off the grid. And of all places, being in Hawaii, that beautiful, beautiful. Paul's going to be there in 3 or 4 weeks, in fact. Yeah. Joe, there was a time when the Texas-Oklahoma story popped in late July that there were thoughts the Big 12 was in trouble. There were thoughts and even reports that the American Conference was going to gobble up part of the Big 12, and who knew what was going to happen? Did you have any idea by then, at that time, or when did you know, okay, wait a minute, we're going to land in a better place ourselves? And Craig mentioned, did you think it would affect you? When did you know the American Conference situation was going to be good?
Well, I worked for Bob Bowlesby at Stanford, and so, I know how Bob thinks. I know how he operates. I knew that he would be aggressive and proactive in trying to find new members to replace Texas and Oklahoma. I thought that would likely come through some combination of the American, an independent like BYU, and perhaps some schools from the Mountain West. So we started thinking about, okay, what are the different scenarios that could unfold here? What are some opportunities that could exist for us in the Mountain West? What are some opportunities that could exist for us in the American? And as I started to have conversations with those commissioners and with ADs in those conferences, I became increasingly confident that we'd find a good landing spot when it was all settled. It really wasn't until maybe 2 weeks before the actual announcement in October that I knew the American was going to be the spot. But I would say basically when I got back to the mainland and started having those conversations, it was within a short period of time that I grew pretty confident that we'd be able to move into a league that was a better fit for us.
Now you have to, schedule all new games and things are changing. How quickly do you think you guys will be able to announce those kind of things? And kind of just a sub question, did 2020 and having to juggle a schedule like everybody did make maybe this at least a little bit easier because maybe not to stress on it as much as you would have in the past?
Yeah, I think so. We'll probably have a little bit different scheduling philosophy moving forward. Football is, scheduling, non-conference scheduling in football is, I don't think ideal for anyone, whether you're, at the bottom of the group of five or the top of the Power Five. Scheduling as far out as we do doesn't make a lot of sense. You don't know what league you're going to be in. You don't know how many games you're going to be playing within that league. You don't know the quality of the opponent 10 years from now. And so, it just hasn't made a lot of sense for a lot of different schools. You're seeing announcements coming out about games in 2032, 2033. But I think our philosophy moving forward is going to be squarely within kind of the American Athletic Conference philosophy and scheduling non-conference football games. We're going to try and do some Power Five home and homes. We'll continue to play the Bayou Bucket game against the University of Houston, alternating home and away every year. Now that they're joining the Big 12, that'll be one of our Power Five opponents. We're also looking at academic schools that are like us, like Dukes and Northwesterns and Vanderbilts, to see if they're interested in playing, and perhaps some of the publics as well. And then, we'll play good group of five games and probably have an FCS game every year at home. And then in basketball, we're going to put together a budget to buy games for us at home, which we haven't done in the past. And our coaches are pretty excited about that.
Joe, the conference with what UTSA and you and, of course, North Texas all going together from where you were in Conference USA to the American Conference, and then SMU already being there, how important is it, and was it even a part of the conversation that there will be 4 schools from the state of Texas in your conference?
Well, I think it's really important. Everybody wants to focus on football and basketball. But, when I think about our volleyball team, our soccer team, when I think about our other sports, having a tighter geographic footprint makes a lot of sense for us. And Conference USA stretches from, in its current iteration, stretches from El Paso to Norfolk, Virginia. And it's just it's a big league. There's not a lot of opportunities for us to drive. I think back and hear from our alumni all the time about the old Southwest Conference and being able to drive to everything. We're going to have more of those opportunities moving forward, not just with the schools that you mentioned, but, also having Tulane as a presence. Tulsa's not that far away. Wichita's not that far away. So we're excited about a tighter geographic footprint in those sports. And we're excited about going in with UTSA and North Texas as well.
Joe, I'm going to pitch you an idea here. When you said, playing the other schools like Vanderbilt and Duke and you kind of the elite in Northwestern, whenever you play, whether it's basketball or football, but let's just say for football, Friday night, academic quiz bowl, Saturday, football game.
I like it. I like it. Try and get a sweep, but at least maybe we'll come away with a split.
Yeah. One of the things about your academics, and we hear even at times perhaps that is something that is not enough on the front radar. I'm sure that's something that will never not be on the front radar for Rice University, along with a few other schools as well. Are you concerned a little bit about that?
I think we have to live into our brand. We have to live into our values. We can't try to be something that we're not. We do have a niche. We do appeal to a certain type of prospective student athlete. What we're actually finding often in the transfer market and in grad transfers as well is that student athletes have maybe a subpar experience at another school, and they had considered a place like Rice coming out of high school and realize that that's what they want in their second or third go around. And so we want to capitalize on those opportunities and not try to be something that we're not. And we think we can have success by just being the best version of ourselves.
Joe, thank you. Appreciate your time. Hey, thanks for being at Baylor in that Cals event that they had, the Cals One event as well. I thought that was incredibly well done. It was good to see you there as well.
Well, and I want to say, we've got great connections with Baylor. I've known Max since I got here, and he was the AD at UH. And Linda and Brad Livingstone, and Shelby was a student athlete here at Rice. She played volleyball, so I've known the Livingstone since she was a student athlete. You've got great people up there. And it was my pleasure to bring our staff up to participate in Cals. We had a great time.
Thank you very much, Joe. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you being in Waco last week and on the show today. Joe Karlgaard, he's the Director of Athletics at Rice. They will be a part of the American Conference. UTSA also in North Texas. We've had UTSA. We've had all three of those ADs now on, including Thursday of last week, and now Rice as well.